It is another edition of the On the Mic podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mike Pendleton. And I got to call myself out. Last time I talked to this man, not only did he tell me he was going to do what he went in and actually did and continued on with his undefeated record, but he said, let's talk after my fight. I dropped the ball, but he was kind enough to join us again before his next fight. He is new breed. He is undefeated, and you will see him later this month. He is Jaylon Bates. Sir, how are you?
Good, brother. The one and only. How are you?
I'm good. So, obviously last time you fought early February, a great win. You improve your record to 5-0, and we'll get into your fight here in a moment, your upcoming fight here in a moment. But just right now, where you're at in your career and how has everything progressed from where you've wanted it to be and where you're currently at?
Freaking fast, man. Honestly, I remember I keep telling Antonio this, senior. I keep telling Antonio senior this is just like I remember when this was all a dream. I remember when I was 10, 11, telling my parents I wanted to be in MMA because I just saw the UFC, and then now I'm living my life, and I'm on my way to making life-changing money. I'm on my way to being able to get my name out there, becoming a world champion. I remember when this was all just, it was just all talk in a way. It was all just like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I'm going to fight. You want to what? That was my parents. You want to what? I want to fight. A girl teaching me my first arm bar, us wrestling on the patio. Like life is just blinked, and now I'm here. So I'm blessed, and I'm truly grateful, bro.
You'll take on Mark Coates at Bellator 283 on July 22nd. I know last time we talked a lot about your team, your training, your focus. And we talked also a lot about life outside of fighting. And I have the utmost respect for you, no matter what. But coming into this fight, do you feel any pressure to continue to carry that O against every opponent? 5-0, you're 4-0, 3-0. Is there any pressure to keep that undefeated thing going for you?
Fuck no. I know I'm the best ever. I might not always say it. I might not always promote that to the public because I'm very humble, but I know I'm the best 135er ever. And I'm going to continue. And where I'm at now is just not even, I've only been pro for the last 2 years. I'm not even 5 years in this shit. So where I'm at now and the leaps I'm making and the bounds I'm making, people they haven't seen anything yet. And if they think I'm good now, watch 2 years down the line when I'm 4 years in, watch another 2 years when I'm 6 years in. They're gonna be like, shit. And the thing is, my work ethic isn't gonna change. I'll go to 3-4 practices a day, no problem. You know what I mean? So my work ethic isn't gonna change, and it's not gonna stop me. I'm just gonna continue just be like, what more can I do? What more can I do? So there's no pressure for me to be undefeated, because for me, I look at it like, if I lose, I lose. I was meant to lose. He was just the better man that night. But I don't see that happening now with these men. Maybe if I go to 145, and that's way in the future, if I go to 145, because I don't see that for another 5 years, 6 years going up to 145, then yeah, we'll see. But as of now, no, I'm going to go through this division. I want to go through every man in Bellator. Every man I want to say I fought, I beat them. And then after I get the belt, I defend it a few times, five, 6 times. All right, now I could go up to 145. But until then, I'm not no pressure. Pressure makes diamonds anyway.
I love it. So Jaylon Bates, you're just the sheriff of the bantamweight division in Bellator MMA, right? You're just gonna clean everyone out.
They know. I remember last year when this is my first year fighting, and I had Patchy Mix, and I had what's that one dude? Keith Lee in my DMs, DMing me talking shit. I'm like, bro, this is my first year being pro. These guys are like 6-7 years deep in this shit. So they whether they want to say who I am or they want to, acknowledge who I am, they'll know. They will all know, and they'll all have their day. And I'll take every man out. I will.
What do you make of the division? Obviously, a lot going on in the bantamweight division. Before that, I'm going to back up. What do you make of your opponent? Right, 10-7. Obviously, more experience. in comparison on paper, right? But as we all know, what's on paper doesn't necessarily translate to what's going to happen inside the cage. How do you kind of forecast this fight playing out, and what do you make of your opponent, Mark Coates?
I shit, easy work, easy work. I'm expecting to go in there. If he wants to, if I can't take him out in that first round and submit him, I'll go 15 minutes. But I know one thing, I'm gonna win. I know one thing, he's not gonna handle the pressure I put on him, especially when I start turning up, because he might get. I'm a slow starter. I'll say that here now. I'm a slow starter, but I'm planning to change that for this fight. I'm gonna have a very nice warm up to where I'm gonna go in the cage already sweating. So he's gonna have to deal with me being on at that point, because I noticed that in my past fights that I'm a slow starter. When I get in that cage, I'm not sweating. I'm just like going through the motions, and then I turn up. At this next fight, I'm gonna turn up early, and I can go for 15 minutes. To me, 15 minutes is really not that long. I mean, I can wrestle for 30 minutes. So 15 minutes is like, okay, cool. So I don't really make anything of them. I think that it's going to be a great fight. I know I'll come out on top, and, best of luck to him. I hope he brings the best he could be that night, because I'm bringing the bear.
I love it. With that said, though, I mean, it's kind of crazy to hear you just say, yeah, 15 minutes isn't that long. For some fighters, 15 minutes can change their entire career, win or lose. As someone who, again, I just heard what you said about the future and you inside 135 pounds of this division. When you look at coming into this fight or any fight, what is it for you? Because obviously you learn every single fight. You take something away from every single fight. Is it easier and probably a little more calming for you to get in and get out? Or do you kind of welcome an opportunity for 15 minutes to say you can kind of decipher your game after the fight?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like fighting those 15-minute fights, you learn a lot more. But fighting those quick fights, you realize how good you are. You realize, man, I can finish someone in the first 5 minutes of a fight. They can't even mess with me. You know what I mean? So I feel like 15 minutes, you can learn a lot more. You're like, okay, I should have done this here. I could have done this here. Okay, next time I could do this there. You can decipher. Yeah, you're right. You can depict your game and, dissect it a lot more. But for me, with this fight, I'm going in there to get out. He said, or someone told me, because he didn't tell me this, but someone told me that he said I can submit him, and he's a higher belt than me. I'm gonna go in there and put him on his ass and submit him, and let's see how I want to. I did see one of his fights where he beat the dude up, and I don't like cocky guys. Like after the fight, if you beat someone up, getting in their face and being like talking shit. I'm not a fan of that. Never have and never will be a fan of that. The fight's over. It's over. Like that, you should expect to have them talk shit to you leading up to the fight, because it's a fight. But after the fight's over, what am I talking shit for? Especially if you won. So I don't respect that at all. And I saw he got in the dude's face, and I was just like, oh yeah, And then he called me a boy. On top of that, he called me a boy, and I can't stand that word. I can't stand another man calling another man a boy, because that's like ultimate disrespect. And he called me a boy, so I'm gonna show his ass that I'm a grown ass man, and I'm gonna whoop his ass.
With everything going on inside the Bellator bantamweight division, obviously we got the Grand Prix going. It's kind of ironic. We're just talking about people talking. We just saw what happened with Danny Sabatello and Rufián Stotts. Obviously, you plan a big future and to have your name as the household name at 135 pounds. But currently, where you're at and what's going on at the top and with the Grand Prix, what do you make of all of that? And do you see yourself as a player against these guys in the Grand Prix sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I'll have that belt by the end of next year. Honestly, whoever they want me to fight next, by the time next year comes, no one's gonna fuck with me. I'm the work I'm willing to put in, the dedication, the focus, the grind, the mentality, the heart, the spirit, no one's gonna fuck with me. So they can play the $1 million game, get their $1 million, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have the belt by the end of 2020, by the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, whatever works. And that's it. You know, I'll be 8, 9-0 by then. Let's see. After this fight, I'll be 6-0. Fight one more time, 7-0. Yeah, I'll be like 9, 10-0 by then, and I'll have the belt. So whatever, I don't care who's the champ. I'll beat the champ, and then I'll defend it. Beat that guy, then defend it again. Beat that guy, it'll go through. I'll just go through each guy, the next runner up, because that's what I'm preparing for. I'm not preparing. For me, I'm preparing to go 25 minutes. I was talking about being 15 minutes long. Like 15 minutes ain't shit. I'm preparing to go 25 minutes because the deeper those rounds go, the more I get anxious, excited. I turn up. I go more deeper into my toolbox to find different things. And so, and I'm going to get stronger too as the rounds go. They're going to be like, damn, this guy's not slowing down. What the fuck? Okay, what do I got to do? So they're going to have to kill me, which is knock me out, or they're going to have to just that. There ain't no plan B, because if you don't knock me out, you're not going to win. You're not going to submit me, and you're not going to outwork me.
With that said, man, I got to say, I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. I want to go back to you talking about you don't like guys who run their mouths after fights, which if you go back to our last time you were on the show, I mean, we had a full conversation about bullying and why reaching out to the community is important to you, and helping younger people and helping others is important to you. So it's not like you're trying to sell wolf tickets here. Like, this is something you stand on. So, and it excites me. But going back to like the Grand Prix aspect of everything going on right now, you're focused on yourself. Jaylon Bates is just focused on Jaylon Bates at this point, which I love. You know, when you're in a Grand Prix, you're worried about who's fighting who and when you could possibly fight and how schedules are going to line up. When you get to that 7-0, and when the calendar turns into next year, I mean, you kind of just told me without asking that you want to fight again this year after this fight. Would you want to continue to rise up through a Grand Prix tournament style like that, or do you just want to just start picking people off left and right?
I'm going to start with the number 10 guy. Then I'm going to go down to the number 9 guy, number 8. And one by one, I'm going to pick them off. And if they go, okay, you're number 8, do you want to fight for the belt? I'll say, yeah, whoever the champion is. Yeah. Or you're number 8, do you want to fight the number 3 guy? Yeah, I'll fight him. Beat the number 3 guy. Okay, do you want to fight for the belt? Yep. Okay. Now, I'll look at it and be like, well, I didn't fight the number 7 or 6 guy. Let me fight one of those two. Or I'll fight one and then I'll fight the other. All right, let me fight number 5 and 4. You know, then let me fight number 2 and 1. And then at that point, I'll have beaten everyone in the division. So, yeah, man, I want to go through every man, whatever they are, I want to fight them. But ultimately, I want to clear out the top 10. I want to say I fought everyone in the top 10. Anyone on that ranking list, I fought everyone. I beat everyone. And they're going to have to start bringing in new guys, because then at that point, I'm just going to keep whooping their asses. And I don't want to say it like I'm not that guy right now. I know where I'm at. Do I think I'm that guy? I know it for sure. Deep down, I know it. But am I at that championship level? No, because I'm not training yet for 25-minute fights. I'm training for 15-minute fights. But when I get to that level and it starts getting closer to where it's attainable and I can grab it, oh yeah, I'll be ready.
I know you mentioned Coach McKee earlier, and I know last time I was geeking out. You know, we were all talking, and you were in the car. For you, when you talk about this long-term plan, how much of that comes from your camp, your coaches, your training? Obviously, you said you're training for 15-minute fights, but how much of this mindset that you have of how you're going to go about the future of your career comes from what your coaches are telling you, coming from the conversations that you're having with your team, and coming from obviously the training? How much of that is kind of coach influence as well?
Shit. Like 80% of it, 90% of it. 90% of it. You know, I trust in Antonio. I trust in AJ. I trust in my team to guide me, to be my confidants, to be my advisors. And whatever they say, Antonio has been, we discussed this before, he's been in the game for the last 30 years. It's a long time, man. You know, he's 52, but 30 years, that's what, 22, something like that. I'm not really great at math.
Yeah. Yeah.
25, something like that. Anyway, so he's been in the game for a long time, and he's seen what to do, what not to do. And so for me right now, like, my biggest thing is getting my followers up, my Instagram. I got to get my Instagram popping. I'm not a huge poster on Instagram, but I would love it if people followed my Instagram page, you know, _MMA. I need that. Because then when they look at my Instagram, they'd be like, oh, that's Jaylon Bates. That's what he's about, you know? And yeah, so they've been a huge influence on it, honestly. I love them.
I love it. And I won't keep you too much longer. I do always appreciate you making the time for me. How has the progression been from your last fight in February to, you're fighting July 22nd, Bellator 283. Obviously, don't miss, obviously follow you on Instagram. But what has the progression been like? I know you were back in the gym shortly thereafter. I know there was a promotion and belts for you. Just how has that training progression been for you from your last fight up until this fight?
Yeah, amazing. Started taking it more serious. Realized, you know, after that fight, when I fucking ate the donuts, and, you know, I was like, it's not about just being disciplined to weight cut. It's not about being disciplined to weigh-ins. It's about being disciplined all the way through the fight. After the fight, do whatever the hell you want. But being disciplined, training hard, and giving your training everything you got each time, that's what counts. So I feel like I've seen a lot in my progression. My pressure, my hands are really sharp. And, you know, I don't see these guys fighting the way I fight. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox, and I have a lot of different ways I can finish a fight. And yeah, my progression has been fucking leaps and bounds, honestly. And I'm just going to continue on that path to continue growing, continue going through the ladder, continue each stepping stone. So that way I can, and I will be the greatest. They'll be like, damn, if I had to put someone on the 135 great list, I'm going to put Jaylon Bates up there. You know what I mean? And that's the legacy I'm trying to leave. So I'm really happy with it. And coach has given me a lot of wisdom, a lot of information, a lot of training to understand my body type, you know, and I'm blessed, truly blessed.
Well, Jaylon, I'm not going to keep you any longer. My last one, as always, what should we expect, and what should fans be expecting from you come Bellator 283 on July 22nd?
Well, you know, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. But I'm gonna finish the fight for sure. Whoever they want to put me against, I'm gonna finish them. And the mentality I have is finish every man they put in front of me. I don't care whether it's by submission. I don't care if it's whether by TKO. I don't care if it's by knockout. Finish them. Find a way to get the job done. And by getting the job done, I mean finishing them. Making them quit, making them tap out, quit on the stool, don't want to get up, you know, they throw in the towel, whatever, make their coaches be like, are you sure you want to fight? Are you sure you want to go on this next round? Like, I don't care. But my goal, my aim for every man that steps in front of me is to make them quit. And will that happen? We'll see, but that's the goal. So fireworks, finish, you know, I'm gonna do my backflip,
and then on to the next.
Yeah, inshallah, God willing, man. I'm able to do my backflip and win. So
well, New Breed _MMA on Instagram, and Jaylon Bates. If you hold me to this, I'll hold myself to it. Let's talk after the fight. God willing, everything goes according to plan, and actually talk after the fight this time. I'll be waiting. I'll be ready. Wish you all the best. Great conversation with you as always. Bellator 283. Can't wait to see you compete inside the cage once again.
Yo, thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, boss.